Garchomp. Anyone who plays PvP knows this Pokemon as an absolute terror that is able to take down teams all by themselves. This monster has a pseudo-legendary stat total of 600, as well as an extremely diverse moveset and Dragon Ground typing. Along with this, Garchomp has two amazing abilities in Sand Veil, boosting its evasion by 20% when a Sandstorm is active, and Rough Skin, taking 1/8 of a target's health if it makes contact with it. This allowed Garchomp to absolutely dominate Pokemon PvP both inside the mainline games and PokeMMO. In this video, we are going to be focusing on Garchomp's strengths, weaknesses and diversity within PokeMMO's OU tier, to help both newer players and veterans have a clearer understanding of what they're going to be coming up against. So let's focus in. How does Garchomp perform in this unique MMO environment? Well, if you have any experience in PokeMMO OU, you will not be surprised to hear that Garchomp absolutely dominates the tier. Its versatility in stats and moveset allow it to take up a variety of roles, meaning that you can never be sure what set the opposing Garchomp is using until it's too late and moves have already been selected. Using the in-game statistics tab of PokeMMO, we can quickly and easily gain access to some percentages that highlight Garchomp's usage, along with popular natures, abilities and items. Using this, not only can we display how Garchomp performs in MMO, but we can also show newer players how they can do the same with any Pokemon they choose. So, let's look at the data. It's clear to see that a naive Garchomp is the most popular. This indicates that it would be a mixed attacking set due to the naive nature being minus special defense and plus speed nature. If this set was purely focused on using physical or special moves, then Adamant, Jolly, Modest or Timid would be more preferable options. It can also be seen that Life Orb is the most popular item for Garchomp, indicating that it is typically more offensive than defensive. It should however be noted that items such as Focus Sash, Leftovers and Rocky Helmet are much more defensive and show that Garchomp has potential in a variety of offensive and defensive roles. There is also the Choice Scarf item, which can easily catch teams off guard if they predict the more common Life Orb or Focus Sash sets. This is due to it drastically increasing the Pokemon's speed but at the cost of being locked into a single move. Next, abilities. With only two to choose from, it is hard to go wrong with this one. Rough Skin is by far the more popular choice due to being more applicable to a wider range of situations. For example, is Crobat just going to U-turn you? Why not switch to Garchomp and make it take 1/8 of its total health? There are many scenarios where this kind of play is possible and allows for Garchomp to be a consistent threat to your opponent, even without selecting a move. Sandville does have its niches however. During a Sandstorm, your Garchomp's evasion is boosted by 20%. It may not seem like much, but that could be the difference in avoiding that single Ice Shard that could easily take out your Garchomp and allowing you to sweep the rest of your opponent's team in return. Although, the difficulty comes in setting up Sandstorm, as you would never want Garchomp, or any Pokemon for that matter, to run the move Sandstorm. This forces your hand to integrate either Tyranitar or Hippowdon into your team due to their Sandstream ability, which automatically summons a Sandstorm upon entering the field. Luckily enough, the usage statistics from earlier indicate that Tyranitar is also towards the top of OU, with Hippowdon also taking a very different role to Garchomp. This makes the synergy between Garchomp and this Sandstream pair almost perfect. Despite what seems like infinite benefits of integrating Garchomp into your team, there are some weaknesses. The biggest one being its extremely detrimental 4x weakness to ice moves due to its ground dragon typing. This makes any Pokemon that has access to the like of Ice Beam, Icicle Crush or even worse due to priority Ice Shard extremely useful when taking it down. Examples of potential threats that could cause Garchomp some problems include the likes of Mamoswine, Weavile, Porygon 2, Conkeldurr if running Ice Punch, and pretty much anything that gets access to an ice move. It's a good idea to familiarise yourself with at least the previously mentioned Pokemon to ensure that you have some understanding of what threats are lurking in the OU tier. Furthermore, while this harms the purely physical sets such as Jolly or Adamant more, it still causes a lot of headaches for many trainers. Getting burned. This status is mainly applied to the use of Will-O-Wisp, but can also be an added effect of moves such as Flamethrower, Fire Blast or Heat Wave. While Garchomp's dragon typing allows it to resist fire moves, it should still be considered that a burn could potentially halt any momentum that you have. This is because being burned halves the attack of any Pokemon affected by it, making them much weaker on the physical side. Threats that are likely to try and burn you include Chandelure, Rotom-Wash, Infernape and Conkeldurr if they are running Fire Punch. If you have some spare time, checking what Pokemon get access to Will-O-Wisp will go a long way to making sure you do not get caught with a much weaker Garchomp for the rest of the game. With the fundamentals of what Garchomp is, what it can do, and what threatens it understood, we can go into more detail about specific sets that are typically used within the OU tier. As discussed earlier, the most popular Garchomp set is a naive Life Orb Rough Skin set. However, something that has been absent from this video so far is the movesets used by each variation. This information cannot be gathered from in-game statistics, but there are various other ways to find the most common moves that are used by Garchomp. This can be done by watching tournaments and seeing what moves are used by the top players, looking over the PokeMMO forums for ideas of what moves to potentially use, or by searching the GTL with filters in place to look for your specific type of Garchomp. Typically, the more expensive listings will have more meta movesets than the cheaper options. Using these methods, we have determined that one of the most popular movesets for Garchomp consists of Earthquake, Draco Meteor, Flamethrower, and Stealth Rock. This confirms our earlier suspicions about naive Garchomp being a mixed set, with Earthquake being the only physical move and Flamethrower plus Draco Meteor being special. Stealth Rock is unique in that it sets hazards on the field and is extremely good to use early game, as it means that any Pokemon switching in will be taking consistent damage based on their resistance to rock. EV investment into special attack and speed is also made to ensure those special moves pack a punch while being able to outspeed many other common Pokemon in the OU tier. The variety and utility of this set makes it difficult to choose a choice item, as it would lock Garchomp into a singular move and would force the switch if you chose to set up rocks on the first turn. Life Orb is amazing for this set however, as it will only do damage to Garchomp once it is used an attacking move and still boosts its damage to 1.3 times its normal rate, allowing you to take advantage of Garchomp's versatility. Focus Sash is another really good option if you want to lead Garchomp. This is due to it allowing you to get Stealth Rock up no matter what your opponent leads in response, and it allows you to tank an Ice move and return an Earthquake or Flamethrower to potentially remove the only threat your opponent had to Garchomp, setting you up for a potential sweep. Moving on to the second most popular set, a Jolly Garchomp will typically have 4 attacking moves to allow it to equip a Choice Scarf. This gives it the most possible coverage to counter anything that would otherwise be faster or resist its Dragon Ground stab moves. With Jolly Nature being minus special attack and plus speed, this means that no special moves will be on this set, kicking Flamethrower and Draco Meteor away for the likes of Dragon Claw and Fire Fang. Other potential moves include but are not limited to Thunder Fang, Ice Fang, Crunch, Stone Edge, Dragon Rush, and Earthquake. It should be noted that you can still run Jolly Garchomp with a Life Orb. This would allow you to include Substitute to prepare setup moves, Hone Claws to set up for Dragon Rush spam, or Stealth Rocks to get hazards on the field, which could potentially trick your opponent into thinking you are the more common naive mixed variant. Now, if you really wanted to get creative, you could heavily focus on Garchomp's amazing ability Rough Skin. With this, you could equip a Rocky Helmet to do more damage to your opponent on contact. Mix this with a more defensive nature like Impish, and you could try a more bulky Garchomp. The lack of a recovery move does however hinder Garchomp's ability to be in a more bulky defensive role. EV investments that should be considered for this set include health, defense, speed, attack, and special attack, depending on how bulky or offensive you want to try and make your Garchomp. Defense is prioritised over special defense for this set, as contact moves tend to be more physical, and contact moves are what activate both Rocky Helmet and Rough Skin. If speed EVs are not invested in, then it would mean that many more Pokemon now outspeed Garchomp, and that is something that should be considered when sending it into battle. This set should also be viewed as a niche, as the other sets mentioned completely outperform it. With many different variations of Garchomp now identified, let's finalise this PvP masterclass by highlighting the best sets to run if you are looking to use Garchomp. Without a shadow of a doubt, the naive Life Orb Rough Skin set is the best performer, with the moveset of Earthquake, Draco Meteor, Flamethrower, and Stealth Rock. It has too much versatility to not dominate the statistics, and is extremely useful in a large majority of situations you will find yourself in. If you did want to try another route, then the physical Jolly set is a much more restricted but still viable option to use with a moveset of Fire Fang, Earthquake, Dragon Claw, and Crunch, while having a Choice Scarf or Focus Sash equipped. With Focus Sash allowing you to potentially knock out threats, or the extra speed of Choice Scarf making Garchomp an absolute menace to deal with if you let it get some momentum, giving you many opportunities to sweep. And with that being said, it concludes our PokeMMO PvP Masterclass on Garchomp. It has absolutely dominated the PokeMMO OU tier for a very long time, and it does not look like it's going to change anytime soon. To help you guys get started in PokeMMO PvP, we will be giving away a 2x31 natured, EV trained Garchomp along with a viable item mentioned in this video. To be in with a chance to win this Pokemon, make sure to like, subscribe and comment CHOMP on this video. The winner will be shown in next week's PokeMMO PvP Masterclass video, which can be expected at 5 PM BST on July the 24th, where we'll be covering another top tier Pokemon in PokeMMO. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to seeing you all again very soon. Bye bye!